Hey everyone! Today we're diving deep into a part of your body that you might not think about much, but it's quietly running the show on everything from your mood to your immune system. Seriously, it's so often overlooked, but getting it right could be the big health breakthrough you've been looking for. So let me ask you, are you constantly feeling just off? Battling that annoying brain fog, feeling bloated, dealing with skin issues that won't go away, or just feeling totally drained all the time? If that sounds familiar, you're definitely not alone, and chances are the real culprit isn't what you think it is. You see, for so many of these widespread health issues, the very first domino to fall isn't in your head or on your skin, it's in your gut. It's kind of this silent epicenter for a whole cascade of problems that can pop up all over your body. So why all this talk about the gut? Well, it's time we stop thinking of it as just a simple food processor. We need to start seeing it for what it truly is, your body's command center for health and well-being. Get this. Your gut is home to a whopping 70% of your body's entire immune system. 70%. That's just an incredible concentration of power, all working around the clock to fight off germs and keep you healthy. And because it has so much power, its influence goes way, way beyond just digestion. Think about it for a second. Autoimmune conditions like Hashimoto's, skin problems like eczema or acne, even mood disorders like anxiety and depression. So often, the real root of the problem traces right back to an imbalance deep inside your gut. Okay, so if our gut is that important, what on earth is messing it up? Well, the answers might be a lot closer and more surprising than you think. Look, we all know that a diet full of junk food isn't great for us. That's obvious. But the list of things that can disrupt our gut is so much longer, and it's filled with things we run into every single day, often without even thinking about it. Just take a look at this. We've got chronic stress from work, relationships, you name it. That's not just a mental thing. It physically weakens your gut lining. Then there are common medications like antibiotics or even stuff like ibuprofen, which can just wipe out all your good bacteria. And here's the one that gets a lot of people. Even some healthy foods like too many raw salads or giant smoothies can actually be really hard to digest and can irritate a gut that's already sensitive. Throw in regular old tap water with its chlorine and microplastics, and you've basically got a perfect storm for gut trouble. Now, all of this damage can lead to something called leaky gut syndrome. What does that mean? Well, essentially, the super tight protective lining of your intestines starts to get these tiny microscopic gaps in it. This lets stuff that should stay inside your gut, like undigested food particles and toxins, leak out into your bloodstream. And when that happens, your immune system freaks out and launches a massive inflammatory attack. Here's a great way to think about it. Imagine your gut lining is like a very, very fine fishing net. It's designed to let all the good stuff, the tiny nutrients, pass through, but it's supposed to block the bigger stuff. Well, with leaky gut, that net gets rips and holes in it, and suddenly all sorts of things start slipping through that absolutely shouldn't be, and your body sounds the alarm. But here's the really good news. You can absolutely repair that net, and the path to healing is a pretty straightforward 3-phase plan. It's simple, really. First, you've got to remove the things that are causing the damage. Second, you actively repair and soothe that gut lining. And finally, you rebuild your army of good bacteria to make it strong for the long haul. So let's jump right into phase 1, remove and detox. This is all about giving your gut a much-needed vacation, just stopping that constant assault so it finally has a chance to breathe. The goal here is to eliminate the biggest offenders for about 30 days. This means taking a break from the usual suspects, inflammatory foods like gluten, most dairy, sugar, and those seed oils. You'll also want to press pause on alcohol and, surprisingly, a lot of raw and cold foods. Switching to filtered or spring water is a super easy but really powerful change. And this is crucial. This phase is also about managing those chronic stressors, which can be just as harmful as any food. All right, so once you've removed the irritants, it's time to go on the offensive, in a good way. Phase 2 is all about actively healing and giving your body the exact building blocks it needs to patch up that damaged gut lining. This is where you really start to focus on warm, nourishing, easy-to-digest foods. We're talking about things like comforting bone broth, hearty soups and stews, and lots of well-cooked vegetables. On the nutrient side, zinc is a powerhouse. They call it the repair mineral for a reason. And L-glutamine is an amino acid that basically acts like fuel for your intestinal cells. And you can't forget lifestyle. Gentle walks, really prioritizing 8 to 9 hours of sleep, and just getting out in nature. All of it is incredibly healing. And that brings us to the final and maybe most important phase. You've taken out the bad guys, you've repaired the wall. Now it's time to bring in the good guys and rebuild your gut's defenses so it's strong and resilient. So, what's the best way to do that? How do we repopulate the gut with all those beneficial bacteria? Well, the single most effective tool we have for the job is a high-quality probiotic. And this isn't just about throwing some bacteria in there. It's about restoring the natural balance and creating a thriving internal ecosystem. And the science on this is just wow. Check this out. One study on people with leaky gut found that a good multi-strain probiotic improved their gut function in over 81% of them. Even better, a full 37%, that's more than a third, achieved complete normalization of their gut. And for those with IBS symptoms, an unbelievable 96% reported major relief. I mean, you just can't argue with results like that. Look, healing your gut is definitely a journey. And like any journey, it starts with a single small step. So thinking about everything we just talked about, what's one little thing? Maybe it's switching to filtered water, or sipping some broth, or just taking a 5-minute walk outside. What's one small step you can take today to start supporting your body's command center?